Hmm. You know,
Okay.
there's a lot of these farm plots here. Are these still growing food?
They're a little bit, but it's more sparse. Um, there's like little, like most of the fields have been kind of like ransacked and destroyed, but there are here and there, like thing of
Okay.
corn or
I think
some
I think the lawn
cabbage.
will take some time, like collecting anything that seems more or less edible, and just kind of collecting that into a small package.
Okay.
And I want to ask Thalon in Svamojis, when he was here earlier, did he notice that the monkeys congregate like in around any one set of ruins? Maybe. I mean,
You guys see it now. You don't necessarily have to ask him, but you see the monkeys are actually kind of following each one of you. So, like as Kara goes off to look around for other graves, the monkey, like a small group of monkeys, start following her, and like there's monkeys under like following all of you.
Hmm.
And Kara, your search of the buildings was interrupted by that combat. So, if you would like to search the buildings again, you can.
Oh, okay. Is this different than observation then?
This would be just another observation to search the buildings.
Oh, okay, sure.
So you're searching through all the different buildings, and you're looking around. Most of them are just completely ruined, but one of them you do actually find another small grave. The earth has been very freshly turned over. Not even enough to really cover what was buried there. And you see what looks like a small child freshly buried.
I remember the infant's, clothes, wrappings and small bones from back where Dallin went, disappeared, and I go confront him about it. I'm like holding the dead baby, and I'm like, "Did you? What is this? What is wrong with you? Did you unbury and rebury this baby?" This is all in Kalmaran, so like native language for
Right.
me.
This is in our associative language, so we hear it. And I'll go, yes, I reburied it at the request of the mother.
What?
It is now with its family. That would be the appropriate burial spot for it. Like all graves, we should reclose it before we leave. But the baby has nothing valuable on it, I can assure you.
Why wouldn't you wake us up and tell us this? What is the matter with you? Are you crazy?
I don't believe I had much of a choice at the time.
Kara, why did you dig up and carry around that baby?
I talked to you guys in Smojis. He carried baby left in the night. This why.
Why are you carrying it around? Leave it alone. It's just a baby. It's a dead baby.
This man is insane.
You're
Maybe
carrying
there's
around a
something
dead
there.
baby.
Maybe there's
Check.
something there where he reburied it.
The land pulls out his book and is insane.
She wants me to eat a cherry pie? Something must be lost in the translation.
I'll get this
I-
language eventually.
I go and put it back, but I'm like, this is not right. This elf, crazy.
Maybe
Awesome.
maybe there's something else there underneath where he buried the baby. I mean, have we searched that area? That seems to be important.
You have given a good search through the buildings, and there doesn't appear to be much left of any of them, or much left in the building.
Yeah, no, I think strongly on the monkey angle, which really, I guess, again leans us really towards our animal trainer expert here of the party.
Well, I mean, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna try to trap one, catch one, and then train
Well,
them?
we could always follow them to their territory and see
Yeah.
if they've been hoarding all the goods together.
I
Yeah.
was thinking track them and see if they live in a central area.
We could just follow the whistling.
Exactly.
I would say Plan A. We do capture one, and over the course of the next year, we earn its trust.
I
what
like
was
your thinking. We could wait another 10 years, in fact, and have the whole colony under our control.
That'd be
Is
awesome.
what was like, I want you to do this quickly. And you're like, wait. We got to train this colony of monkeys. And 1 year later, we've recovered your medallion. Who are you? I thought you died
Of the
years
Monkey
ago.
Mission accomplished.
Good news, we have a thriving colony. It's now popular by monkeys.
Because we gotta label the monkey so we know it's the same one if we don't trap one, right? Because we could be getting a different one every time.
Look, Connor, I've been trying to count them, but they keep moving.
Who knows math? Who has the math skill?
Alright, so Salon is going to have his staff ready. In fact, he's gonna make sure he has his javelins ready as well. He's gonna just mount them up on his back in their little leather quiver.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna just sort of listen out, and he's gonna try to see where the whistling is now.
Okay, you're listening for the whistling. And what about the rest of you?
I'm trying to look around and see if there's any kind of pattern with the monkeys. I mean, I know there's each one with us, but like if there's like a pattern, or they're leaving the area in one from one specific spot, or it's just all chaos.
Okay. What about Cody, Theta, or Kara? What about you guys?
I have
Wanna be doing
nothing the
anything?
monkeys are really interested in. I can't lure them or do anything.
I could try to track the monkeys if we're going in that direction.
Okay.
I don't want to play these graves.
Yeah, and I want
Okay.
to ask Svolna, our guide, if he knows how to track the monkey.
Okay. So we'll go around first. First, Fallon, do you want to make a listening check?
Yes, I do. Listening.
We'll say it's a signal whistle, so it's intended to signal where it is. So it's an average check, so within 40. So you do hear this whistle, and so you can start narrowing in on where it is. If you would like to follow that, you're more than welcome to. But it does lead off into the jungle.
Right, I'll wait for the rest of my companions and not head off alone, because that'd be foolish. Who would ever do something like that?
Okay.
Yeah.
As to Connor's looking around and trying to watch all these monkeys. It seems to be rather chaotic. They all just seem to be jumping around and leaping from tree to tree, and kind of just, the only pattern to it is that they're following you.
Okay.
Cody, Tub wanted to try to track them.
Yes.
Did you want to try to track any of them in particular? Because right now they're not really going anywhere. They're just kind of watching and hanging out with you guys. So and you kind of you get a similar, almost a similar response from Swona there, Kara. He says, I can track them, but only if they leave.
Sorry, I thought they weren't in the area. My bad. I misunderstood.
So yeah, right now they're just kind of following you guys. The only ones that taking the shovel or taking the copper and just taking off into the woods.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe give him a copper and see where he goes. Maybe we can follow him. Maybe we can all give them a copper and watch them all go. do
I've
you guys
paid my
think?
monkey tax.
I have no money.
I'm not inclined to throw money at monkeys, so I'd say we could track the ones who stole Dallin's stuff.
Although those ones have been gone for a while, so
Yes.
it'd be difficult to track those ones.
At least 16 seconds ago. And at least 300 feet away. Those monkeys are gone.
Way too far away.
Nope, there's one right over here.
I mean, by all means, if you want to give the monkeys your money, you're free to do as you will.
I don't think you have to at all.
You think you can figure out where the sound came from?
Absolutely, I hear them right over here.
Yeah, he does hear the one with the whistle.
Okay. Well, let's do that then.
Right?
All right. If you guys want to do tracking checks, then this would normally be a rather difficult check because these monkeys are nimble and can leap around the trees, but you have one that's running around blowing a signal whistle. So these are just average checks. So you guys can all do it. So
Let's see.
both failed by 3, failed by 4. Fallon, it makes sense. Fallon's on the track. So you're like, I've got it over here. And so you start leading them. Well, maybe they all view it as you just running off into. But
Again.
You start leading them into the woods, and it's a little bit of a convoluted path that you're following because this monkey is zigging and zagging and showing everyone his signal whistle. It takes about an hour of tracking this monkey. Sometimes it stops and it's maybe it might eat some fruit. But after a while, the jungle trees give way to a rough, rocky clearing where outcroppings of stone jut up from the earth. You see monkeys scampering all over the broken ground, jumping and climbing these rocky monoliths and trees. The ground is covered in fruit pits and feces and monkey hair, and some distance away across this clearing where the trees once again grow thick, you see a rocky outcropping rise up from the trees and a large cave in the side of it. And the monkey with the whistle appears kind of jumps around the rocks a little bit and then scampers in that direction across the clearing. So let's transfer these maps.
I believe we found our objective.
Yeah, I don't like the look of this, though.
See if you guys are all right down here. Connor. Rory the Badger.
Spend this time redonning my armor.
Yeah, no worries. And
All right, everyone.
If everyone wants to put on their armor,
Yeah.
you're more than welcome to do that.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I imagine I had mine taken half down, so I was just shirtless the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, button up the robe a little bit and turn to everyone. All right, everyone. I have for you your secret weapons. And the land will go to each of you and give you an ear of corn.
Kira, what did he say?
He says secret
He
weapon.
barked.
The corn's a secret weapon. Yes.
I have to say, never mind. I've been taught not to say anything if I can't think of anything nice to say.
And in this area between you, so you see the cave at the map.
Yes.
At the far top of the map. And in between you, there's several rocky outcroppings with tons of monkeys. And I scattered a few monkeys out there, but there is a buttload of monkeys. What would you like to do?
Thalon will go ahead and start stepping forward.
All right.
He's got a staff in one hand, and he's fondling one of his belt pouches right now, full of the food.
Fondling. All right.
Yes.
So-
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I actually need a 2-minute break. So, but feel free to keep going, and I'll catch up.
Yeah, if we want to take a short biological break, I don't mind.
Sounds good.
We can handle this. Yeah.
Okay.
That work for
See you
everyone,
guys.
or-
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
5-second break. All right, now while everyone's gone, time to check out everyone's languages. Sphimosish. Man, that is a complicated word.
I'm surprised you didn't know it since you're the translator.
We wrote out all the languages, and apparently that was just the one language that no one said and everyone else got. So
No,
I'm just
he said it. He even wrote it down.
yeah.
There was a whole
did I, like,
conversation.
miss it?
Yeah, there was a whole conversation where I was calling it gobbledygook.
Yep.
Man, I must have just like gone brain dead in that moment.
Yeah, I don't know how you missed it. I totally thought you were like, I'm going to take every language. I'm going to be the group translator. And I was like,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 languages right now.
Yeah, I mean, you don't speak my native language either.
Well, I bought 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I actually missing one?
you bought several purchases in some of these languages. So that might be also be it.
Oh yeah. I only get Elven and high and low Elven for free.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the text chat will have like a role I made for it and then just didn't put it somewhere. So I'll double check that later. And if not, clarify for me now while we have a break. I could just spend the build point sometime at the end of the session to learn it.
Yep, and you're a polyglot, so it also makes sense that you could have been, asking people. You pick up languages really easy, so
yeah, I've lived in the language now. I understand it. Let's just get going, everybody.
Mm-hmm. So
Tub has Dwarven and Svamosian. I can actually speak to Tub because he also has Dwarven.
except he refuses to speak to you in Dwarven.
Yeah. And I'll give you not a kind look if you speak to me in Dwarven.
Connor has Gnomish, of course, and Svimosish. And I think that's everybody. After that, just me. So yes, Svimosish is the thing to pick up. Probably don't need to pick up Skarn.
Oh, you insult me that way. I see how it is.
Say that to his face.
I think that was another one of the ones that like I blanked out on.
Yeah.
That was only mentioned because that's an ancient or more older dialect of the Fyokai language.
Yeah, there's the Fyokai language in the northeastern map of the world, and Skarn is an ancient version of it. So it would probably be unlikely that you'd learn Skarn unless you spoke to him about learning that language.
Right. Let's go to the oldest. Here we go.
All right. So let's drive back in. So you guys are at the entrance cave, but this clearing, and you guys are going to cross towards the cave. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, indeed.
So one thing that I'll just kind of let you know as we're going forward, initiative, the reason why I told you D12s and D10s and that is basically the more information you know about basically a combat or the location of enemies, the lower a dice you're going to get. So like if you look around a corner and you see a guy standing there and then you choose to attack him, that would be on like a D4 if you like tell everyone like, hey, like because you know their location and you know they're just right around the corner. If you like hear someone, then that's going to be like a D8. And like if you know they're around the corner but you don't know exactly where, that's a D6. And then a D10 is like, I think we're about to get ambushed. Let's be ready for combat, and then that's a D10. So, not saying that this is a combat, but just and I'll try to like remind you guys as we
Right.
continue.
Right now, Thalon is like waiting to see if the monkeys like decide on anything or like start making more noise than usual. At which point
Yeah.
he's ready to like present a whole bunch of food and see if that can save them some time.
Yeah.
Just so you know what's on his mind.
Yeah. So the heat from the sun is just bears down on you as you move through this open stretch of area where the jungle's kind of peeled back. As you move, especially as you move closer to the cluster of rocks, there's a slight hill as you're moving up to these larger rocks at the very top of the map. And monkeys are everywhere watching your movements with curious eyes. Behind you, an ever-growing band of monkeys follows you at a safe distance. So they're not within grabbing range, but they're probably, some of them skirt within 10 feet and like see if you react and then back away. And friends are like, oh, crazy, you're such a rebel. It's how they gain like prestige. And so as you start ascending the hill, you see what appears to be dozens of the creatures sitting on top of the rocks. Each of them are growing more and more animated as you go closer and closer. Obviously, this is probably the place that they call home as they start like yelling, and some of them even start throwing rinds from fruit, and some of them throw even a little bit of feces. One throws a rock. And ahead, you can see this cave grow larger and larger. So if you guys want to place yourselves kind of near the entrance of this cave, like kind of in this area, it looks like Ari and Thalon are leading the way.
And yeah, after the first rock is thrown, obviously shield up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't especially want to get hit with feces either.
Is there anything on the ground, like any shiny things on the ground as we're walking up? Have we noticed anything like that?
You're not noticed anything on the ground here. No. As you get closer and closer to the cave, you see a dark, hulking shape inside step out, and in the dark, from the darkness, I'll just do a little reveal here. From the darkness steps out the hulking form of a large gorilla. He tilts his head to the side curiously and watches you. You see there's tattered leather straps hanging from an equally ratty belt that adorns the gorilla's waist. The creature appears strangely calm as he rests his hindquarters on the ground in front of the cave. There's some sort of eagerness and curiosity in his eye as he carefully studies your guys' approach. What would you like to do?
As I suspected, a big monkey. And Thalon will go ahead and take a step forward, take his belt pouch, and just sort of reveal the food all inside of it. You want some of this?
He kind of like cocks his head and looks at it, and several of the monkeys even like scamper down the hill and like try to get as close. Like one of them like leans over on a branch above you and like looks down in it.
Yeah, so Thon will go ahead and take another step forward, and he's taking sort of, a little bit of backward posture, but he's offering it up. and he's wondering if it'll take it.
So you're like holding it out to the
Yeah. And I'll like give it a shake. I'll press it forward a little bit. I'll go like, "Come on, take it, take it. We're friends."
So he kind of like cocks his head a little bit, and he looks a little bit confused. But as you get even closer, he kind of like starts baring his teeth.
Right. The lord will just go ahead and stop moving forward at that point.
Okay.
And he'll actually go ahead and take it, and he'll put it on the ground in between them.
Okay. And Tub, just clarifying, is that how far you want to be back?
All the way in the distance.
No, just a little bit more.
No worries. Yeah. Just making sure. And this underbrush around here, you guys can move through, but it's not impossibly thick. So. And then you've put it down at your feet.
Yes.
Then you're gonna step away, or
yeah, I'll go ahead and take a step back to here.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, of course.
What's the familiarity with animals of this type, generally, in this world?
There's probably not a lot of familiarity with monkeys like this.
I guess I could roll monster lore to see if I know anything really good or in particular, but otherwise I'm just treating this as a thing that probably wants food.
Right.
And isn't necessarily out to kill me.
Right, I mean more so would I regard like a silverback as more of just a monster, or would I regard this as an animal?
I think you might regard this as more of a monster than just an animal. Well, monkeys you'd view as more animal. A creature of this size, and you've probably heard stories of their curiosity. Flan, you actually have heard of creatures like this. Maybe you've even seen some of them in gladiatorial battles in the far north in Calamar. You also know that there is people that actually train monkeys, especially gorillas of this size, to be pack apes, and train them to carry equipment for them.
Right. It is highly intelligent. It is incredibly strong.
Yes, you do know
it
that.
will throw you across the entire clearing.
Yeah, you do know they are incredibly strong.
Okay,
Right.
so if it's classified as a monster, then like my animal empathy skill wouldn't work to step forward and say that we're friends.
No,
right?
you can still do that because it's
Right.
it's
We've been
not-
talking like social perception.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
talking social perception.
Okay. And then I would just run a skill check, right?
Yeah.
It's
For
been
animal
pride with food. It's curious more than it's aggressive right now. So you probably have a good bit of leeway.
So I'd
Yeah,
want
so-
to step forward in front of the guys, and that we desire friendship, and that's what I'm gonna like put the feel out, and then I check.
That's real good.
Okay. Yeah, that is a good check. So you step forward and you're like, call. Like, you start. I don't personally know what you do to calm a silverback gorilla, but
Me
Connor
neither.
does.
You don't smile, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
you don't smile. You're well, luckily Connor's doesn't care, but he doesn't. Never a joking fellow. So yeah, you know exactly what to do in this case to calm down and like kind of sway this gorilla, and the gorilla like kind of relaxes a little bit more even as you're standing there, and even starts like reaches in and grabs some of the food that you've offered it and starts munching.
All right.
All
So,
right.
Connor, what do you think?
Well, I'm gonna move another step. I'm gonna move a little bit more,
Okay.
and
You can talk to mammals, right? Can you talk to?
He can only talk to burrowing mammals.
Oh, okay.
right, yeah, but
Yeah.
I can get with the skill. I can have some insight into the emotions of the animal, and then and I can kind of convey like desires, like
Mm-hmm.
things like that. But
What are you trying to convey in this case?
friend,
Okay. Yeah.
no.
He's like conveying a sense of like a little bit of confusion but he's trying to convey like he's trying to protect, you assume, like his home.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um. Hmm. Can I convey like can we come in? Can we join it? Yeah, I need to watch that video.
Something to distract him, maybe. Don't
Yeah,
they like grooming?
your that check that's a very difficult check. That's good enough that you sense that you might be able to enter the cave.
Okay, I want to try.
Yeah. So you
And I say, hey guys, hold back, and I'm gonna try to go in
Best of
alone.
luck. You know what we're looking for.
So you make your way in, and it's a small little cave, and he's definitely even though he thinks you're your friend now, he's watching you as you kind of step in, and he's like, even though he's munching on some corn, he's still a little wary of you.
Is it dark? Like, what do I see?
It is a little bit dark. There's enough light that you have low light vision, so there's
That's
enough
right.
light that you can see well enough. It's a large mass of fur, leaves, dirt, and jungle foliage, like kind of compiling. You see, there's definitely spots where it looks like this ape sleeps, but you also see scattered around are like an entire collection of an eclectic pile of completely random things. You see lots of piles of fruit, rinds. Some of them are rotting, and some of them are still edible. You see bananas and mangoes and coconuts. You see a weird, strange wooden frame that appears to be in terrible condition. It looks like some sort of like wooden backpack, a very large scale. You see a strange, maybe halfling or gnome sized metal helmet with a dent in it. You see lots of broken pottery. That's all you can see with just a cursory like scan.
Can I make my way around, being cautious and looking for some necklace?
Yeah, make an observation check.
Okay.
So you look around and you spot several things. You spot, like, here and there, you spot several coins scattered among the leaves and fruit. You spy what looks like a dagger lying, like poking out, actually sticking out from one of the coconuts. You also spy a small charred wooden doll and a metal, looks like flask. It's got a very rusted top. And half buried in some of the jungle foliage, you do see a small gold medallion.
Okay. Can I go over to it and try to disturb it but keep an eye on him to make I'm not upsetting him?
Yeah, so this would be so you're like trying to do it on the sly.
Right.
Because like you've noticed is like as you like you're kind of walking around, and anytime you get closer to one of these items, you kind of like snarls, and you see a tooth. And
Mm-hmm.
so in this case, if you wanted to try to pick it up without him noticing,
Yeah.
I would say it would be a pickpocketing check. And this is
I would like, of course, to assist in a way here and do a distraction once I see he's maybe trying to take something. I'll have like 3 coppers, I'll jingle them a little bit in my hand, and I'll actually step forward and showcase them in my hand to the girl again.
Okay.
Hey, more gifts over here, my friend.
So would you like to make a distraction roll for me?
And that's actually a skill. Okay.
So this is going to be because this monkey is more concerned. This gorilla is more concerned his his items inside this cave than he is about offering him more coins. So in this case, it's going to be a difficult skill check.
Right.
So if you
I got an
roll-
8, so
yeah.
it might not work, but let's see.
So if you roll an 8 or lower, so yeah, you're
I
like
burn all of my honor to learn it now.
so you flash your coins and like, woo, look at this, and he doesn't even pay you attention. But several monkeys, smaller monkeys, like start getting closer, and they try to like reach out for it. But that's clearly not what you intend. So Connor, in this case, it's an opposed check. So you're taking your roll and you're adding your skill. So it looks like you've got a 106.
Oof.
That's good. But now this creature is going to roll its observation check. So it's going to roll to see if it can spot you doing this. It's luckily that apes are not incredibly gifted at observation. So in this case, it's just a 1d100 plus a 1d20 because you never know if.
I got butterflies.
Nope, it's an 80. So you managed to get over there, and you maybe you're just so short to the ground that you're almost hidden for a second by some of the other pile stuff, and you managed to pocket that necklace.
Awesome. Now I want to make my way back out.
All right.
With friend, you know.
Yeah, he lets you pass, and you're out. So you can move yourself out now if you'd like.
All right. And I say to the other guys, let's get the hell out of here.
Excellent. Thalon will start backing up. He'll have his 3 coppers, and he'll actually start throwing those 3 coppers out to the other monkeys.
All right.
Yes,
that's
monkeys.
Very exciting.
Remember me, the nice elf with all the shinies. Tell all of your children.
So it's another hour, and you guys managed to make it to Zarzani or Zarza with no trouble from the monkey. And let me switch back over. You make it back without any incident.
But wait, is it the right medallion?
It is, in fact, the right
I don't know.
medallion.
I didn't look at it yet, but
Yeah.
If there was any medallion to be had, this is now the one.
Right. I guess we would look at it. I would look at it on our way back.
Yeah, you look at it, and sure enough, it is a small gold medallion formed into the head of a lion with a single piece of jade in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
You got it.
Woohoo! That was easy.
Easy peasy. Just had to sneak into the cave of a gorilla.
I just kept his eyes on my nose, and I took it from there.
Yeah, you took it right from under his nose, in fact.
That's right.
So it's starting to get. It took about half a day to get here from your campsite. It's taken probably 2 hours to travel back and forth, and then plus several hours of searching the camp and digging up all these graves. So it's probably about 5 p.m. at this point, maybe 6. It's starting to get later. What would you guys like to do?
I'll probably go to the guide and say, well, I believe it's probably best we just simply camp here for the night.
He says that if that is what you want. I'm just paid to take you here and back. Did you find what you needed?
Absolutely.
Delightful.
But you walked all night, so we could always, it only took a night for you to walk here.
Well, if you want to be permanently exhausted, I don't see why not, but
No,
Thalon is
I'm
probably
going to need some rest.
especially tired. Yeah.
yeah, okay.
How heavy is he?
Let's rest here.
All right.
I need to heal some hit points anyway.
I want to
Yeah.
ask Alon though. Didn't you say you saw a ghost place?
The ghost, it should no longer bother us. It is at rest now.
I'm more worried about the gorilla coming after us.
Out of just sort of a meta question here. Did you put the baby back? Because I heard somebody say that it's at rest. Last I saw, Kara was walking around with a dead baby.
Put the baby down.
I put it back a long time ago.
Yeah, she put it back.
All right. So for nightly procedure, I'm going to go ahead and mark off a day of ration now, and I'll go ahead and mark off the day to heal the 1 wound I took.
Yep. So everyone, the night you guys go, and the night actually passes by completely uneventfully. So
Yay.
everyone can go for each of your wounds. You can reduce the day to heal by. So I think that's Connor. Thalon, how big was your wound? It was
Mine was just 1 and 1, so
Yeah,
it's
so-
gone now.
Your wound's gone. So Connor, your wound was an 8-point wound.
Right. So 8 and 7. So I went down to 7 and 6.
No, so your wound is still an 8-point wound,
Okay.
but the days to heal is now 7.
Well, that's what it was before. So now would it be 6?
So it's the points are still 8, but the days to heal is 6 now. So
Got it.
after 5 days, that will become a 7-point wound with 6 days to heal.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, so it's going to takes a long time to heal naturally, at least.
Yeah, that makes more sense. It's more real life.
Mm-hmm. And this game, it's totally fine in this game to be like, you know what, we're all, let's just take a month and just rest.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid. Like for pacing wise, don't feel afraid to do that, or like that's not an option, because that's totally an option. So the next day, it actually make it all the way back to Ismosvam with no incident. The travel both there and back was uneventful. You didn't even run into a single random encounter.
Excellent.
Awesome.
So you guys are now back in Ismosvam. And upon arrival, would you like to return immediately to Isvor?
Absolutely.
All right. Isvor arrives and hears that you have brought the medallion. He's overjoyed. And he greets you all. And this time, when you enter his office, you see there are actually 5 chairs set out in front of his desk. And he greets you and welcome. Please come and have a seat. I hear you've just returned from Zarza with good news, I hope.
Indeed so. We found the required medallion. All is well.
Delightful. Please have a seat. Would you like any cucumber water?
Oh, absolutely.
So he
So
actually
refreshing.
pours out several waters for you, and you see there's actually a tray of pastries, if anyone is interested. He says, "This is what happened at Zarza, if you don't mind my asking. How did it go?"
A simple journey at the very least. I believe that after the raid, some monkeys happen to have actually stolen anything valuable or shiny that was in the village before the villagers could get back to it themselves.
So he is speaking Svimosian. So the question is Kara translating everything?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so there's
Or someone else.
we don't have to.
I don't know if I would tell him everything, but just give him the highlights.
Yeah, I guess I kind of.
Yeah, so you probably take off some of it.
Or exaggerate and make it sound like there's so much. It was so hard.
And he he sees you talking in Kalamaran, and he can repeat everything in Kalamaran, as if you want. He's not as good as Kalamaran as he is in Svimosish, but he will.
So we
speak
can
in
hear
Kalamaran.
him, but we'll go through someone else.
He actually says to you, "There's no need to translate. If he speaks Kalamaran, I can understand him."
Kara, what are they saying?
Oh, yes.
They both speak my language.
But yes, indeed. It was an interesting journey at the very least, and one involving the wildlife.
I'm grateful. Do you have the medallion here then?
I'll take a look over at Connor.
Yeah, and I'll pull it out and show him.
Yeah. So he looks at it and he takes it and he goes, "Ah, delightful. This is exactly what I was looking for. You've done it perfectly and in such great time. I am gratefully in your debt, and I believe payment is in order.
Quite so, such as the contract.
He like reaches down into the desk near him, and he pulls out a large purse, and he says, 200 silver here. Thank you for your.
Wasn't it 400?
It was 200. Yes, it was 40 for each of you. Essentially, 40. Yeah, 40.
Metagaming slightly. This is
Yeah.
Yeah, the elf will go ahead and nobly count out 40 for everyone.
I believe it was 400, wasn't it?
No, it was 200. I will speak up and correct you that it was 200. No, I will. I know you're trying to lie. In character, I am correcting your lie.
No, but I'm speaking Kamaran, which I don't understand.
Okay. Is the words are different for numbers, great.
You say it in Calamaran?
Oh, yeah.
He responds in Calamaran, and he goes, "The company does not look favorably on those who try to change the terms of an agreement at the end."
I could have sworn, but perhaps you're right. I was mistaken. I don't want to piss this guy off.
Yeah, we need another job. I kick you in the leg.
You start fighting in the seats.
I just look at him, narrow my eyes. You sure about that? I just give a knowing grin.
I do in fact have more in store for you, but it is the hour is late, and I'm sure you are tired and in search of a good bed for after being in the jungle for some time. I'm sure we could speak of this tomorrow if you'd like, and I could inform you of what other tasks we have for you. I think you could be, with such good and speedy delivery on this amulet here, you could be just what the company is looking for to forward our company to the next stage.
Of course, it would be my pleasure to see you and work for you again.
Delightful.
And I'm sure you have our accommodations already set up.
Yes. As part of, in fact, part of the next contract, I will rent you some of the group house that we have here for some of our employees, so that you may stay with us free of charge. Although it is only lodging; it does not provide food for yourselves. It's more of a hostel situation.
Cool.
Oh no, we're not hostile at all.
Hostel, as in HOSTEL, as in LE. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. My language is limited.
Perfect. Hey, it's.
So for the treasure, just as an aside here, so do we keep track of it in the group treasure, or are we just splitting it up as we get it? Is that what we're doing?
I'll go ahead and we'll split it up for now because I imagine we're all very short on personal funds.
Yeah.
So we'll all get 40 silver right now, and when it comes to the future, we could start pooling things together if we feel we need to.
Yeah. So what I imagine is typically they use the group treasure if like they go into Zarza ruins and they find like a cool statue or something like gems, then they could throw that in there, and then that's how they know what to divide and give to each other when they reach a town. But if there's something you want, you should just take it from the group treasure. That's the easiest way I've handled it before.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Okay, great.
So also, so that you guys kind of get a look of how experience and money you'll get playing Hackmaster. Roughly what it should be is that half your experience should be from combat and half of them should be from story awards. So one of the story awards that you got was you returned the medallion in less than 5 days, which gives you guys 500 experience points. And this is not divided yet, so just like gives your group 500 experience points. You also defeated Mavovo the feral pack ape without combat, so that gives you additional experience.
Cool.
You also found a good way of tracking the monkeys, which is additional experience points. You defeated the centipedes as well, which is another one, and you got through the haunt without one killing a player that was possessed. The only thing that you you could have gotten experience by avoiding possession from the haunt, and if you could have gotten other experience points by conversing with the haunt before it, either dodging its attack or getting a better initiative than it, and then trying to talk to it. And then if you actually volunteered to be its host, then that would have given you other experience points as well.
Right, but that was the perfect scenario of fail every single aspect of that. Can't speak to it, not fast enough, can't resist.
Exactly. So that's just kind of something that's the way it falls. Yeah. And so there will be story awards along the way too that are something like you come across bodies of people, and maybe if you choose to bury them, and give them a proper burial, then that could have given you experience. But for now, everyone gets 186 experience points, and Connor, you get 168. So he gets only 90% of experience points because he's a gnome titan.
And did you give me the 400 XP from the backstory, or I mean, I'll only get 360 of that, but
yeah. So you have 360 plus 168.
Okay.
So you are now at 528 experience points.
Right. So I'll be able to level up.
Yeah, nice.
So with leveling up, between the levels of 1 through 5, the way I play it is that you don't need to take any time to train for that level up. I say these are the ones that you kind of get naturally, and so you can kind of level up.
Okay.
But once you get past that, you actually have to take time to train. So if you go to 6th level, you have to take 6 weeks to train of in-game time.
Okay.
And so that's when, once we start getting there, that's when it's good to have a protege, so you can activate your protege and they can adventure while you're training. So if anyone does have a protege, since you have a protege there, Theta, you got 186 experience points. You can choose to give up to half of that to any of your proteges.
Oh, yeah.
So, but then you would take less. So, if you gave 50 experience points away, you would gain 50 experience points less. So, that's what you can do.
Oh yeah, no, I'm giving a full half to the undisclosed.
Do the proteges take part in the adventure, or do they just kind of follow along?
They're in town.
They're in town. So basically, they will be somewhere in this, most of them, while you're adventuring. So what he's doing is when Ari gets here, maybe he's training with his, he's sharing experiences. It's here, this is how we defeated this pack ape, that here's what worked. Maybe he's doing some exercises and they're going and lifting weights, or hitting the gym, or going on a run. Or maybe they're practicing sword fighting and anything like that.
And we can roll them up off camera. I can take 2, but I didn't roll them up yet.
You can roll them up off camera. If you need my help, just let me know and we can roll that up. If you want to, we can do your level up right here.
Sure.
Because we end at our stream ends at 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, real quick before we get into that, man, any honor gain?
So honor is gained anytime you level up. So at this point,
I thought it was every session or something.
No. Yeah, just every time you level up. You can lose honor in between sessions, though. So that is something to be aware of. There wasn't any chances to lose honor in this, except maybe if you had dug up that dead baby and then done something bad to his corpse, or
used it as a hat.
Especially if you're a good character, if you do something terrible and defile the corpse. So,
A quick question, DM.
yeah, of course.
Before we started the story, I had that one elf going. Can I have that as a protege or?
Yeah, you can have that as a protege.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. The only time you can't have a protege is if you
Gotcha.
also can't have a protege if you're a ranger, until your 10th level. As like rangers are like lone gun, they do everything themselves. So
Already, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Did I do this roll right? Because the training button didn't work.
You have to click on
1d12
your.
plus my mod.
If you want the training thing to work, you have to click on your token.
Okay, so there's just no token, and that's why it wasn't working. Okay.
Yep. But yeah, you did a 1d12. Your intelligence is +3. Your polyglot is +2 for +5. Yep.
Yep, and then add 17 to that, so that's going to be a 29, which makes it one of my average languages.
There you go.
Not any better than any others. Average. And that costs 1 BP.
Would you guys like it to do anything else before I help Dennis with his character's level up?
I think I'm good.
All right.
Short of like buying a bow or something, but that should be good.
All right. So Connor, the way that we do this level up is first you get 15 build points.
Okay.
The experience for next level is going to be 1,200.
Okay.
And you currently have
528.
528. So now you get to roll. You get to roll a single dice for every ability score. So you start with a D20, and then a D12, then a D10, then a D8, then a D6, a D4, and you get to roll for every ability score except for looks. So first, you get to choose like one of your abilities. So like you might be like strength, and then you'd roll a D20, and whatever that roll is, and these are all penetrating. Whatever
Okay,
that
and
roll is, that goes into your fractional ability for your strength.
Fractional. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I guess I'll roll a d20 for my strength.
Okay.
And I got a 20.
All right.
And it's penetrating. So then it penetrates and it's a d6, right?
Yeah, so it penetrates into a D6. So now you roll a D6, and that penetrates as well.
So I'll roll that. It doesn't automatically roll that.
Oh, so the way you did the 1D20 penetrate did,
Yeah.
but it rolled a 1 on the second 20. See how it's got a 0?
Yeah.
With the penetrating, it automatically subtracts 1.
Oh, it's -1. Okay.
So that's why. So in this case, you rolled a 20, and then you rolled another 20, and that's at a -1. So you rolled a 1 on that second D20. But
so then it's just 20.
Yep. But this one penetrates to a D6 instead of a D20.
Okay. So then I just get 20 in the fractional, the strength. Okay. And then I roll each one, like each dice, and then we roll a 1d.
Yep, a D12.
Penetrating. Everything's penetrating. Great.
Oh, it's just 1.
Right. So I'm just going to go down the line, first
Okay.
time, and then wisdom will be next.
All
And then that'll be a d10
Okay.
until I get like a real feel
Yeah, no worries.
for everything.
6 in your wisdom. That's good.
hmm And then my dexterity. Thanks for taking the time to do this.
Of course.
It's
It would be a-
interesting leveling process.
I'm getting some crappy rolls. And then my con, you do con and charisma. That's it, right? You said no looks.
Yeah, so no looks.
Yeah. So that's for con. And then charisma. Okay.
All right. And then because this is the level that you got most of the level from your backstory, you just get straight 10 honor.
I add 10 to my 4, or
Yeah,
I'm
10 to
at
your
10.
4. 10 to your
Okay.
4.
Okay.
I haven't seen any of your numbers gone up. Have you been increasing?
No. I haven't put them in. I just kind
Okay,
of rolled
okay.
them all down. But yeah, I
Okay.
can do that. I'm sorry.
I'm just making sure that you
Yeah. I'll do it right now.
as long as you know where all this stuff's going to go. So
Yeah, so the 63. This one. 63. Wisdom 6 and 77. We're just a little backwards with how I like to do things. Constitution. This one, 2. And then my honor with 10. 10, so that's 14. Okay.
so now we go to your fighter, the fighter specific things.
Okay.
And you're at second level, your hit dice is still 1, but you get a reroll. So your previous hit point roll was a 7. So you get to reroll with a D10. And if you get higher, you gain the difference in hit points. So if you roll an 8, 9, or 10, you'll gain 1, 2, or 3 hit points.
Okay. So I rolled a D10 and I got
Nice.
2 over. So I get 2 more hit points.
Yep. So your previous hit point roll will go to a 9.
Okay.
And you'll gain 2 hit points to your maximum hit point.
Where are the max hit points on?
Right above your wounds, under health and defense.
So I went up by 2. So I go to
Is it-
20. Now,
Yep.
it keeps my points. It doesn't take the points off my max.
No, it'll show you on your current hit points.
Oh, I see. 14.
Yep.
Okay. Got it. Or 16. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's cool. All right. What next?
And then we go across the line. As a gnome titan, you're actually considered level 3 for your attack bonus, but for a fighter, level 3 is still +1. So your attack bonus hasn't changed. There's no speed bonus at level 2, and there's no initiative bonus at level 2.
Okay.
When fighters level up, they don't get any additional skills. So at this point, it's just what you want to do with your 15 build points.
Right. Okay. So I can put my actual experience. And then can I think about it? I don't have to do it right now.
Yeah, you don't have to do it right now. You can think about it.
And then I'll let you know, or you'll see it if I roll.
Just let me know what you decide, and we're good.
Because I can put more into my skills.
Mm-hmm. You can put more into skills. You can get talents. You can get specializations with your different weapons.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for me, it's all, since I'm a fighter, it's still all half, or is it just half during creation and then I pay?
It's half for what do you mean?
Well, I think for certain specializations for being a gnome, I think it was attack, damage, and
those are still half. Those are still half.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if it was just something that you got at the beginning during character creation, or if it was something that it's always that way.
Yep. Yeah. It's always that way for you.
Okay. Cool. So that's
Awesome.
good. Great. Thanks, guys. Is that it?
Awesome. If you want to let me know if you're going to be buying anything, let me know. We can do this over the break between now and next week. All I'll do is I'll check to see if it's available in this most of them, and then if it's that, then it's good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
See you next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right. See you next time.
Bye,
See you
everyone.
around.